I'm good when all you are.
What type of season is Alexander Tuer having for you?
He's having a great season. One, just the way he's just leading the group. And I told him 2 weeks ago after the game, so we play Washington State, and normally we bring up the whole entire defense, and he asked, can I bring the whole team up? After he talked to the team, I walked out, I was like, oh, we're gonna destroy these guys, which we did, just because of the energy and the presence that he brings with the whole entire team. From a play standpoint, I mean, he's playing at a high level. Whether things are going well or things are going bad, his pursuit is contagious, and it's unbelievable to watch on the film. I mean, even we gave a big explosive play last week versus Utah State. I mean, there's some guys that are pouting. He is going 100 miles an hour. Even if maybe he can get that guy down on the one and give us a chance to play some red zone defense. So he's having an amazing season.
So before the Washington State game, he asked to speak to the team, or what was that scenario again?
Yeah, so normally, I mean, right before Coach D brings up the whole team, we kind of just get the whole defense together. And he's like, I want to talk to everybody. And he did it versus Utah State as well. But just leaving that locker room and just with obviously big game, yada, 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 all that stuff, I just felt just from the team and just the way he talked to him that it was going to be a long night for whoever we were playing. Instead of hearing it from the coaches, it means a lot more when you hear it from one of the players.
And that was on game day?
Yeah, it was on game day.
So the whole defense?
The whole team.
The whole team. Okay.
When you look at what Hawaii brings as a challenge, talk about the run and shoot where their receivers are kind of playing off you. Explain to me what they're doing and then what you guys need to do when you have, I guess, not traditional looking at film and seeing what they're going to do.
Yeah, really for them, you can just tell they're never wrong, which is credit to the scheme and credit to the coaches. So we got to be able to play different coverages to try our best to confuse the quarterback as much as we can. But really, their wide receivers do a great job seeing whether it's one high, whether it's two high, running the exact route. So it's going to be an in and out chess game. So we got to do a great job. One as coaches changing up the picture, but then the players in the field have to change up the picture as well.
How's Ty playing? I mean, like sometimes you forget, like he just turned 19 and he's still pretty darn young in the grand scheme of things. But how do you feel like Ty's playing this year?
He's definitely shown some flashes on the player that he can be. Having a pick versus Wazoo, should have had a pick versus Utah State. Had a fumble recovery. That was a big fumble recovery versus Utah State. I mean, really just with him, just cleaning up some of the techniques, and some of it's just techniques and tackling. I got to do a great job throughout the week prepping him, but he's very confident. He flies around and plays fast. So I think he's just going to keep getting better and better as the year goes on.
I was going to say, he's one of those guys, like, kind of in the multitudes in the sense that, like, he seems like he plays really hard, though.
Yeah, he plays. I mean, that's the way he practices. I mean, we stress to the guys, you're going to practice the way you're going to play. And normally if the guy doesn't play to the standard that he feels in himself, it's because he didn't practice that way on Tuesday or Wednesday. And Buck practices the way you see him on the game every single day. Even in walkthroughs, I got to slow him down.
How was it different for him? Like, he played close to the ball a lot last year and did things like that, but to be back there kind of in space a lot, like how is it kind of different for him, and what's the challenge of kind of fitting into that, I guess?
I mean, he's one of our best cover guys, so that's why he's back there. We trust him to play slot on a man, be in the post. His range is unbelievable. I think going into this year, that's the position we wanted him to play, and that's the position he wanted to play as well. So he kind of knew going in, like, we're going to go full steam ahead there, and I know he was excited for the opportunity.
Playing with big leads, does that change the philosophy to a more conservative approach that might allow a few more passing or additional yards because you're trying to keep them out of the end zone? How does that work?
No, I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's still a young man's game, and that's the thing we got to do a great job as coaches, just keeping our guys in it no matter what is going on. That is what we stress, that we want to be able to finish games regardless of the score. We want to finish. And of course, guys see 70-yard run touchdown, 60-yard run, kick return for a touchdown. It's 52-17. That's just natural for all kids that play football in general. Would be like, oh, this game's over, guys. Let's go. So that's just us as coaches having to get the guys going in tubes. Buck, like those guys do a great job getting guys locked in, even though they might not be in the game, making sure that the younger guys that are going in are going to go play at a high level and set the standard.
What's Rodney Robinson's best attribute?
Communication. I mean, that's the big thing. Rod's a very smart football player. Obviously, he does a great job in coverage. That can all be cleaned up. Does a good job tackling. that can all be cleaned up. But Rod is such a smart football player that really, like, a lot of times, whether it's Zion, whether it's Buck having to communicate, he can do the exact same thing as well.
I remember like back in the day, like a DeAndre Pierce when he played here, you know, he'd be like, hey, 5 yard out before, you know, a ball was even snapped. And sure enough, 5 yard out. Who's that? Is Rod that guy on your defense, or who's kind of that guy that is so like intelligent that can always see the stuff like that?
Really, I mean, all of them have that in them for sure. I mean, Tubes is probably the one that does the most studying, the most prepping, and that he's the one for sure that can see a formation, splits, alignments, and call out plays. So he's definitely the one. But they all have it in them.
What do you see in the quarterback for Hawaii, Shager? What makes him better, different, et cetera, than what we've seen?
I mean, he's an elite arm talent, so I think he's going to be one of the top quarterbacks we have played so far. He's not a runner like the Wazoo guy, but he's definitely a capable runner, but he makes all the right throws. I mean, he throws it like the Wazoo guy from a speed standpoint, but then he has a touch of some of the other top quarterbacks that we'll face, and whether it's him and then obviously having number 5 as the wide receiver that Coach Chang compared him to Ashley Lee, who used to play at Hawaii. So we're gonna have our hands full on Saturday.
Coach.